There are two ways for a man to grow old. The first is the path that society lays out for us, a slow, gentle decline into irrelevance. It is a path of quiet resignation, of believing that one's best days are in the rearview mirror. The man on this path begins to look old, act old, and feel old, not because of the number of years he has lived, but because he has accepted a story of decay. But there is another path. It is the path of the sovereign man. This is the man who grows not old, but more potent. He becomes more himself, more vibrant, more present with each passing year. He is the man who commands respect not by chasing his youth, but by fully inhabiting his wisdom. He is the man who never truly gets old, because he never stops growing. Welcome to Sovereign Psychology. This is a space dedicated to the inner world of the mature man, a world built on a foundation of integrity, purpose, and a quiet, unshakable strength. Today, we are not going to talk about superficial anti-aging tricks or trendy fashion tips. Instead, we will explore the deep psychological habits and mindsets that cause a man to age himself unnecessarily. We will deconstruct the subtle ways men give away their power, their vitality, and their presence, and we will lay out the principles for cultivating a timeless energy that is felt the moment you enter a room. The principles we discuss today are foundational to the philosophy of this channel. As we explore them, I invite you to ask yourself which of these resonates most deeply with your own experience. Where in your life have you felt your energy expand, and where have you felt it contract? Share your thoughts in the comments below, as this is a conversation for men who are actively engaged in the art of living a full and powerful life, at every age. The first sign of aging, living in the museum of the past. The first and most powerful way a man ages himself has nothing to do with his physical appearance. It is a state of mind. It is the man who lives in the museum of his own past. His conversations are dominated by stories of the good old days. He constantly compares the present unfavorably to the past, complaining about new technology, new music, and the ways of the younger generation. He speaks of his glory days, his athletic achievements in high school, his business successes of the 80s, not as fond memories, but as the peak from which he has been in steady decline ever since. This mindset, while seemingly harmless, is a psychological poison. It communicates to everyone around him that his story is over, that he is no longer an active participant in the game of life, but a retired commentator sitting on the sidelines. The sovereign man, in contrast, treats his past not as a residence, but as a library. He visits it to draw upon the wisdom of his experiences, to learn from his mistakes, and to appreciate the journey that has shaped him. But he does not live there. His energy, his focus, and his conversations are firmly rooted in the present and oriented toward the future. He is still learning, still building, still engaged with the world as it is now. He is curious about new ideas, open to new perspectives, and energized by the possibilities that still lie ahead. This forward-leaning mindset is a powerful signal of vitality. It tells the world that his best chapters are not all behind him, and that he may, in fact, still be writing the most important one. This distinction is central to what we explore here at Sovereign Psychology. The difference between looking old and being wise is often the direction in which your attention is facing. I remember my grandfather, a man who lived a vibrant life into his 90s. Well into his 80s, he decided to learn how to use a computer. Our family was amused, thinking it was a cute but fleeting hobby. But he wasn't playing. He methodically taught himself how to use email, then how to research his genealogy online, and eventually, how to use software to compose music, a passion he had neglected for 50 years. He was frustrated at times, but he never complained that it wasn't like the old ways. He was fascinated by the challenge. His friends would gather and complain about the modern world, but my grandfather would be quietly troubleshooting a software bug. He wasn't trying to be young, he was simply refusing to stop living. He was a man who lived in the library of his past, not the museum, and as a result, he was one of the most youthful and compelling men I have ever known. The second sign of aging, the contraction of the body. The second way a man ages himself is written in the language of his body. Long before wrinkles or gray hair define a man's age, his posture and his movement tell the true story of his vitality. Observe a man who has given up. His shoulders are rounded, his chest is caved in, his head is tilted forward. He walks with a hesitant, shuffling gait, as if the weight of the world, or at least his own regrets, is pressing down on him. His movements are stiff and constricted. This physical contraction is a direct reflection of a psychological contraction. It is the body language of a man who is closing himself off from the world, who is in a state of defense and retreat. It signals low energy, low confidence, and a disengagement from life. It's crucial to understand that this is not merely a one-way communication. A man's posture is a constant feedback loop between his body and his brain. The field of neurophysiology has shown that a contracted, slouching posture does more than just project weakness, it actively creates it on a chemical level. When you hunch over, you are sending proprioceptive signals to your brain that mimic the posture of defeat and submission seen throughout the animal kingdom. In response, your brain can increase the production of cortisol, the stress hormone, while decreasing testosterone, the hormone associated with confidence and risk-taking. Your body is telling your brain that you are in a low-status, high-threat situation, and your brain adjusts your hormonal balance accordingly, making you feel more stressed, less confident, and less powerful. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You feel defeated, so you slouch, which in turn makes you feel even more defeated. The sovereign man, regardless of his chronological age, carries himself with an energy of expansion. He stands tall, with his shoulders back and his chest open. This is not an act of aggressive posturing, but an expression of a man who is open and receptive to life. His movements are deliberate and grounded. He walks with a sense of purpose, not with the frantic energy of a young man in a hurry, but with the calm, efficient grace of a man who knows where he is going. This physical openness is a powerful nonverbal signal. It communicates health, confidence, and a willingness to engage. By consciously choosing to adopt an expansive posture, he is engaging in a powerful act of biological intervention. He is sending a signal to his own brain that he is safe, in control, and of high status. His brain responds in kind, creating a neurochemical state that reinforces these feelings of confidence. This is a principle we touched upon in our video, The 3 Pillars of the Sovereign Man, where we discuss composure. A man's physical presence is the outward expression of his inner state, but it is also a tool he can use to consciously shape that very state. The third sign of aging, the rigidity of the mind. The third way a man ages himself is by allowing his mind to become rigid. A young mind is flexible, curious, and open to new information. It is defined by its plasticity. An aging mind, in the negative sense, is one that has become brittle. It is the mind of the man who says, "This is how we've always done it." He is dogmatic in his opinions, dismissive of new ideas, and resistant to change. He has stopped learning, and therefore, he has stopped growing. This intellectual rigidity is a form of psychological death. It makes a man predictable, boring, and ultimately, irrelevant. He becomes a relic, a man who can only talk about the world as it was, not as it is or as it could be. The sovereign man, in contrast, intentionally cultivates a mind that remains flexible and adaptive. He understands that his accumulated wisdom is a powerful asset, but he is also keenly aware that it can become a prison if it prevents him from seeing new truths. He actively seeks out perspectives that challenge his own. He reads books on subjects he knows nothing about. He has conversations with people from different generations and different walks of life, not to debate them, but to understand them. He is more interested in asking a good question than in having the right answer. This intellectual curiosity is a sign of profound confidence. An insecure man needs the world to conform to his existing beliefs. A secure man is excited by the possibility that he might be wrong, because it means he has an opportunity to learn something new. This is the essence of the explorer archetype we discussed in our video on the sovereign man's passions. The explorer is on a lifelong quest for understanding. He is not afraid to say, "I don't know," or "Tell me more about that." This makes him an incredibly engaging and dynamic conversationalist. People are not drawn to men who have all the answers, they are drawn to men who ask the best questions. By maintaining a flexible, curious mind, the sovereign man remains an active participant in the ongoing conversation of the world. He is a source of fresh insight, not a repeater of old dogma. This intellectual vitality is what keeps him truly young, ensuring that his mind, like a well-honed blade, remains sharp, effective, and ready for whatever comes next. The fourth sign of aging, the neglect of the details. The fourth way a man ages himself is through a slow, creeping neglect of the details. It is a form of aesthetic apathy. It begins subtly. An outdated pair of eyeglasses that he's worn for 20 years. An overstuffed, worn-out wallet that ruins the line of his trousers. A hairstyle that has not changed since his wedding day. Each of these details, in isolation, seems minor. But together, they paint a picture of a man who has stopped paying attention. They signal that he no longer believes that the way he presents himself to the world matters. This neglect is often misinterpreted as a sign of comfort or a lack of vanity, but it is more often a sign of disengagement. The sovereign man understands that the details are not frivolous, they are a form of self-respect. He does not chase fleeting fashion trends designed for teenagers, but he remains current. He understands that style is a language, and he ensures that his accent is contemporary. He updates his eyeglass frames to a modern style that complements his face. He carries a slim, elegant wallet because he knows that a bulky, tattered billfold communicates disorganization. He works with a good barber to find a haircut that suits him now, not the man he was 30 years ago. He pays attention to the quality of his shoes, the fit of his shirts, and the condition of his hands. This is not about vanity. It is about signaling to the world, and more importantly, to himself, that he is still an active, vital participant in life. It communicates that he has standards, both for himself and for how he engages with others. As we explored in The Art of Seeing, a man's presence is a culmination of many small signals. When his personal details are sharp and intentional, it creates a cohesive image of a man who is in command of his life. It demonstrates a respect for aesthetics, a discipline of maintenance, and an understanding that the way we care for our small possessions is often a reflection of how we care for the larger aspects of our lives. This attention to detail is what creates an aura of timeless elegance, the quiet confidence of a man who has it all together. Conclusion: the man who grows living in the present, carrying an expansive body, cultivating a flexible mind, and respecting the details. These are not four separate tactics, they are four expressions of a single, underlying principle. A man who never gets old is a man who never stops growing. The process of aging, as society defines it, is a process of contraction, of the body, of the mind, of one's world. The path of the sovereign man is one of continual expansion. He is always learning, always refining, always engaging, always becoming more of who he truly is. This philosophy is the foundation of everything we do here at Sovereign Psychology. Our goal is to provide you with the psychological tools and insights to embark on this journey of continual growth. Each video on this channel is a piece of the puzzle, whether we are discussing the power of boundaries, the nuances of communication, or the archetypes of a passionate life. We are here to serve as a resource and a community for men who refuse to accept the story of decline. We believe that a man's later years are not an epilogue, but a climax, a time when a lifetime of experience can be forged into true wisdom and an unshakable presence. If you are a man who is committed to this path of growth, we invite you to subscribe and join this conversation. Hit the like button if this message has resonated with you, and share in the comments which of these principles you are actively cultivating in your own life. Your journey is an inspiration to us all. Thank you for your time, and for your commitment to becoming the man you were always meant to be.